There's an invisible mistake you make every day, and it attracts problems without warning. It's not what you do, it's not what you say. It's something much deeper, something the ancient rabbis called the breach in the soul. For 3,000 years, this knowledge has been preserved in the sacred texts of the Torah. And today I will reveal to you exactly what this mistake is, and how it may be destroying your finances, your health, your relationships, and even your children's future. I've known men who lost fortunes overnight, women who watched their families fall apart for no apparent reason, children who inherited invisible curses from past generations, and all of them, made the same invisible mistake. But here's the part that will change everything for you. When you correct this mistake, life begins to reorganize itself almost miraculously. Money returns, peace returns, doors open. What I'm about to share isn't theory. It's an age-old truth that transformed my life from poverty to unlimited abundance. And today, it can transform yours too. But you must pay attention, because this mistake works silently. And when you realize it, it's already too late. Tell me, have you ever felt that, no matter how hard you try, problems keep appearing without explanation, as if an invisible force were working against you? If this message resonates with you right now, subscribe to this channel. You are part of a sacred community of souls seeking ancient truth. Together, we walk toward the light. Let me take you back 3,000 years to the Sinai desert. Moses had just descended the mountain with the sacred tablets. The people of Israel waited anxiously, but while Moses was up there receiving the divine law, something terrible happened in the valley. The people made an invisible mistake. They didn't steal, they didn't kill, but they allowed a breach to open in their souls. A breach called in Hebrew P-R-T-Esh, Peretz, the opening through which chaos enters. And what happened? Plagues, confusion, death, destruction. The sages of Kabbalah have studied this moment for centuries, and they discovered something profound. This chasm still exists. It is within you, within me, within all of us. But there is a psalm, Psalm 91, that reveals the secret to sealing this gap. He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will abide in the shadow of the Almighty. To inhabit, not to visit, not to pass through, to inhabit. Most people dabble in spirituality, but they don't stick with it. And that's where the invisible mistake begins. In the Torah, there is a concept called Shemirat Halashon, the guardianship of language. But the ancient rabbis knew that this went far beyond simply being careful with words. The invisible error is not in what you say, it's in what you allow into your consciousness. Every negative thought you accept, every worry you nurture, every fear you allow to grow inside you, opens a door, an invisible door, and through that door, problems enter without warning. Have you noticed how some people seem to attract misfortune? How problems seem to follow them? It's not bad luck, it's not cruel fate, it's an escape. They allowed the breach to open, and now it's out of control. The Torah teaches us about blessings and curses in Deuteronomy 28. But here's what most people don't understand. Curses don't come from outside. They come from within, from the chasm you yourself created. The Kabbalah masters taught that there are 3 doors through which invisible error enters. First door, the eyes. What you allow your eyes to see creates energetic portals, envy, comparison, greed. Every time you observe the lives of others and feel deficiencies in your own, the gap widens a little more. Second door, the mouth. It's not just what you say, but what you don't say. Unexpressed gratitude is a silent curse. Every blessing you fail to acknowledge is an open door to loss. Third door, the heart resentment, bitterness, rancor. These unhealed emotions are like invisible termites. They devour the structure of your life without you even realizing it, until everything collapses. And here's the deeper truth. You can't force those doors shut. You need to seal them with light. There is a Hebrew word that holds the secret to closing the gap. Shalom. Most people think shalom means peace, but the meaning is much deeper. Shalom comes from the root shalem, which means complete, whole, without emptiness. When you live in shalom, you are not only at peace, you are whole. There are no voids in your soul. There are no open doors for chaos. And how is shalom achieved? Through divine alignment, through constant awareness of God's presence, sealing every thought, every word, every emotion with sacred light. The ancient rabbis had a practice. Before going to sleep, they would take in Cheshbon HaNefesh, An inventory of the soul. They would review every moment of the day, every opportunity that arose, and every half-open door. And then, they sealed everything with prayer. Here's what you should do starting tonight. Step 1. Before going to sleep, sit quietly for 5 minutes. Step 2. Mentally review your day. Ask yourself, where did I leave gaps today? Where did I let fear, envy, and resentment in? Step 3. For each breach identified, declare aloud, I seal this door with the light of the Creator. No evil can enter here. Step 4. Visualize a golden light filling every empty space within you. Step 5. Sleep peacefully, knowing that you are protected. This simple ritual, practiced by rabbis for millennia, can change your life in just 7 days. But it doesn't end there. The invisible error returns if constant vigilance is not maintained. The ancients had a custom. They used the tzitzit, the sacred fringes, as physical reminders to live in holiness. Every time they saw the fringes, they remembered, keep the breach sealed. You don't need to use tzitzit, but you do need a reminder. It could be a bracelet, a ring, a word written on the mirror, something that reminds you several times a day. I will not breach the barrier. I will live fully. Because the invisible mistake is treacherous. It doesn't announce its arrival. It simply waits for you to lower your guard, and then it strikes. The man, David, and the financial collapse. David was a successful businessman in Sao Paulo. Thriving businesses, a beautiful family, a seemingly perfect life. But something began to change. First, a major client canceled a contract, then another. After that, banking problems, lawsuits, debts. In 6 months, David lost everything. He came to me in despair. Rabbi, I don't understand. I work hard. I'm honest. Why is this happening? I sat down with him and asked, David, tell me what you're thinking before you go to sleep. He paused. Then he admitted, I'm worried. The competition, the economy. I imagine unfavorable scenarios. I'm preparing for the worst. There it was. The gap. David didn't attract success. He rehearsed failure every night. The gap was wide open. I taught him the sealing ritual. And something else, the practice of hakarat hatov, the active recognition of good. Each night before the ritual, David had to list 10 good things that had happened to him that day, no matter how small. At first, he had difficulties. Nothing good happened today, he said. Look deeper, I replied. Did he breathe? Did he eat? Did he see the sun? Small blessings opened doors to greater blessings. After 30 days, everything began to change. A former client returned, then another. New opportunities arose. Today, David is more prosperous than ever. But most importantly, he understood. The invisible mistake was his, and so was the solution. Woman, Raquel, and the mysterious illness. Raquel was 42 years old when the symptoms began. Extreme fatigue, unexplained pain. The doctors ran every test. Nothing. Everything is normal, they said. Maybe it's stress. But Rachel knew it was deeper than that. He approached me with an old photograph. It was of his mother, who had died 10 years earlier. I never forgave her, Raquel confessed with tears in her eyes. She hurt me a lot as a child, and I kept it all inside. The gap. Open for a decade. Unforgiven resentment is like a spiritual poison. It doesn't stay in the past. It manifests in the body, in life, in inexplicable problems. I taught Raquel a Kabbalistic prayer of forgiveness and a ritual of liberation. Every morning for 40 days, she stood in front of the mirror and said, I release my mother. I release myself. I seal the breach with love. At first, the words came out empty, but she persisted. On the 21st, something broke. Rachel cried like never before, and she felt something being released inside her. By day 40, the symptoms had completely disappeared. The doctors called it a miracle. But Rachel knew the truth. It had sealed the wound that was draining her life. The boy, Miguel, and the invisible legacy. Miguel was only 8 years old, but he was already suffering from terrible nightmares. Every night he would wake up screaming. Her parents, Carlos and Ana, were desperate. Therapy wasn't helping. The medication wasn't working. When they came to me, I asked them a question that surprised them. Tell me about your grandparents, about your family's past. Ana paled. How did you know? She told me about her grandmother, who had suffered a terrible tragedy during the war. Her grandmother never came to terms with the trauma. She never spoke about it. She simply buried it. And now, 2 generations later, Miguel carried that unsealed void. Does it sound mystical? But current epigenetic studies prove it. Unresolved trauma is passed down from generation to generation, not only emotionally, but also genetically. I taught the family a generational healing ritual. They created a simple altar with photos of their ancestors. And every night, before Miguel went to bed, they recited a prayer of deliverance on behalf of the entire family lineage. We sealed the wounds of the past. We released what did not belong to us. We protected this child with divine light. In 2 weeks, Miguel's nightmares stopped. Today, he is a happy and peaceful child. Because his parents understood, the invisible flaw wasn't in him. It was in his lineage. And they had the power to correct it. What if I don't know Hebrew or I'm not religious? Listen, this knowledge is not exclusive to religious people. It belongs to every human soul. You don't need to speak Hebrew. You don't need to be Jewish. You don't need to follow complex religious laws. You just need to understand you are a soul, and every soul has flaws, and every flaw can be healed. Use the words that make the most sense to you. Pray in your own language. Connect with the divine in your own way. The Creator doesn't care about language. He cares about the heart. What if I've already tried everything and nothing has worked? So you haven't closed the right gap yet. Think about it. You can lock all the doors of your house, but if you leave one window open, thieves can still get in. The invisible mistake works like this. You fix one area of your life but leave another open. The sealing ritual I taught is not just another technique. It's a complete system. It finds all the gaps and seals them all at once. But you need to be consistent. 40 days. No skipping days. No excuses. Because the gap took years to open. It won't close in a day. What if I'm not spiritual enough? Let me tell you a secret. Nobody is spiritual enough. Even Moses, the greatest prophet, made mistakes. Even King David, a man after God's own heart, had flaws. The point is not to be perfect. It's to be aware. Every time you identify a gap, you grow. Every time you close a door, you become stronger. Spirituality is not a destination. It's a journey. And you're already on it simply by watching this right now. Now let me reveal something that few know. Something that Kabbalistic masters have kept secret for centuries. There is one lagoon more powerful than all the others. A lagoon that, when it closes, completely transforms your life. It's the gap between who you are and who you think you are. Most people live under a false identity, an identity created by past wounds, fears, and experiences. I am a person who always has financial difficulties. I'm someone who's never lucky. I am someone who doesn't deserve to be loved. These identities are lies, but you've repeated them so many times that they've become your reality. And here's the secret of level 2. When you seal the gap between your false identity and your true divine essence, miracles happen instantly. How do you do that? With a sacred declaration. The ancients called it Ani, I am. Every morning before starting your day, stand in front of the mirror and declare your true identity. I am a son, daughter of the Most High. I am worthy of abundance. I am protected by divine light. I am complete without gaps. Repeat this for 40 days and observe how external reality reorganizes itself to correspond with the inner truth. This is the master code, the golden key, the secret that spiritual billionaires use without the world knowing. Here is your sacred 30-day challenge. Every night before going to sleep, take stock of your soul, 5 minutes. List 10 blessings of the day. Identify the gaps that have opened up. I declare, I seal these doors with divine light. Visualize the golden light that fills you completely. Every morning upon waking, stand in front of the mirror. Declare your true identity, I am. Visualize your day without gaps. Give thanks in advance for the blessings to come. During the day, use a physical reminder, bracelet, ring, message on your phone. Every time you see the reminder, ask yourself, is there a vacancy right now? If so, seal it immediately with positive thoughts and gratitude. Do this for 30 days straight. And get ready, because your life will change in ways you can't even imagine. My dear friend, if you've come this far, it's not by chance. It's because your soul recognized the truth, the invisible error that brought problems without warning. Now you know what it is. And more importantly, you know how to fix it. But let me give you one last blessing. A blessing that my own teacher gave me many years ago, when I was broken, lost, and without hope. He placed his hands on my head and said, May the Eternal One seal all the breaches in your soul with inextinguishable light. May no evil enter, and may every blessing flow freely. May your eyes see only good, your mouth speak only truth, and your heart know only peace. May the gates of abundance open before you and the gates of chaos close forever. May you walk protected, guided, loved, and whole. From generation to generation, may your lineage be blessed, and may all who cross your path be uplifted by the light that now shines through you. Now I pass this blessing on to you. Receive it, believe it, and live it. You are no longer vulnerable. You are no longer at the mercy of the invisible. You are a sealed temple, a fortress of light, bearer of the divine presence. And from today onwards, problems that arrived unannounced will no longer be allowed in. Go in peace. Go whole. Go sealed. Shalom.